Welcome back to my video. I hope you enjoyed today's story. It's about a moment in life where the decisions we make can lead us down paths from which there is no return. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's dive in. Ryan discovers evidence that his wife Emily is having an affair after finding a receipt from the Belmont Springs Resort, is a hotel they've never stayed at together. Ryan's suspicions are confirmed when he learns that on the day Emily stayed at the hotel, she was only 30 miles from home, not as far away as she'd claimed. Further investigation reveals that the hotel often hosts parties for couples in open relationships, a type of event. Ryan decides to find out the truth by signing up for the party undercover and heading to the hotel. When he gets there, he finds about 50 to 60 people, mostly engaged in intimate activities or spying on others. The room is well lit with soft mood music. The organizers had created an open atmosphere that allowed attendees to easily let down their inhibitions and engage in uninhibited activities. There were white mats laid out on the floor where the participants had already begun their sex acts. Some were completely naked, while others were only partially clothed, but all were comfortable participating. Ryan looked around and immediately spotted his wife Emily, who was unmasked and completely naked. She was lying on the mat with two young men, having sex right in front of a group of spectators, including people who had either participated earlier or were simply observing and commenting. Ryan recognized his wife immediately. I immediately recognized my wife Emily by the small heart tattoo in the middle of her chest. She was completely at ease in the party atmosphere, enjoying being watched and taking part in intimate activities with strangers. She moved her body smoothly and passionately with the two men. The scene made Ryan feel like everything special about his relationship with Emily was thrown away. What they once shared was now meaningless as he watched her with someone else without any remorse or awareness of the consequences. Ryan quietly took out his phone and recorded the entire scene. He knew he was violating the event's privacy policy, but he needed evidence to face Emily later. The comments from the people around him made his pain even more obvious. A man standing nearby in a black shirt commented that she really likes taking care of a lot of people at once. He said she's been with us a few times. Ryan just stood there listening. He listened to the comments about Emily and took it all in with a completely blank mind and a heavy heart. He didn't want to hear or see anything more, so he quietly left the event, walking out of the hotel with a heavy heart and a painful mood. He had gathered enough evidence of Emily's infidelity when leaving the Belmont Springs Resort Hotel. Ryan sat in his car, his mind blank but his heart heavy with disappointment and pain. The scene he had just witnessed was unforgettable. The image of Emily, his wife, without any hesitation completely immersed in sexual relationships with two strange men, made Ryan feel completely betrayed. They had built a special relationship over 15 years. After 15 years of marriage, Ryan felt like he'd been betrayed. He had undeniable evidence of Emily's infidelity, and the videos he'd recorded of her at the open sex party would be his weapon to defend himself against. He decided to immediately initiate divorce proceedings. The next day, he went to see a lawyer in Asheville. During his meeting with the lawyer, he told him everything that had happened, from finding the hotel receipt to seeing Emily at the open sex party at Belmont Springs Resort, and then watching her cheat with two men he didn't know. When he showed the lawyer the video he'd taken at the event, the lawyer carefully examined it and saw that it was clear evidence of Emily's adultery. The lawyer, who had lots of experience, told Ryan that this evidence would help him a lot in the divorce process, especially if he wanted to claim property rights and other terms. Ryan thought carefully and decided not to reconcile. He felt that was the best option for him. Ryan wanted an immediate divorce based on Emily's breach of trust. The lawyer began to process the paperwork and prepare divorce papers based on Emily's adultery. A few days later, when the divorce papers were finalized, Ryan returned home, determined to face Emily. He held the prepared divorce papers in his hand, ready to give them to her when he entered the house. When he got home, Emily was sitting in the living room, looking normal as if nothing had happened. Ryan sat down opposite her, looking at her with cold eyes. He said, "We need to talk." Emily was a little surprised and asked again what was wrong. "Ryan, you look stressed," she said. "Handed over the divorce papers. Here are the divorce papers I prepared. You just need to sign." Emily was surprised and panicked. She stared at the papers, saying, "What are you talking about? We didn't have any serious problems that warranted divorce. Emily, I saw it all. I followed you to Belmont Springs Resort. I saw you at that party with two men having sex in front of me, and I have proof." He took out his phone to show her the video he had recorded at that party. "You betrayed me," Ryan said. Emily was stunned. Her face pale, she couldn't deny the truth. After a few seconds of silence, she started to cry. "I'm sorry, Ryan. I didn't think you'd know. It was just a moment of weakness. You have to understand. I didn't mean to leave you. We can still work on this." Ryan shook his head, standing his ground. "No, Emily. You betrayed my trust. You destroyed everything we had built. I can't forgive you for the quote. Emily started to cry as she tried to hold him back. "I love you, Ryan. Please think about what you're doing. We can start over." But Ryan had already made up his mind. He'd had a chance to talk to her before Emily, but now it was too late. He was going to file for divorce and wanted it to end quickly. In the following weeks, the divorce proceedings moved quickly with clear evidence of Emily's infidelity. Ryan's lawyer made sure he had the upper hand when it came to dividing up the couple's assets. They had a prenuptial agreement, so Ryan kept most of the assets, including the house and joint investments. Throughout this process, Emily tried to hold on to Ryan, constantly calling and texting, hoping he'd change his mind. She tried to explain that participating in the open sex party was just a one-off thing and didn't change her feelings for Ryan. However, Ryan wasn't having any more excuses. On the day the court approved the divorce, Emily still tried to hold on. She was sitting across from Ryan in the courtroom, looking regretful and worried. When the lawyer presented the divorce papers, Emily shook her head. "Ryan, I can't sign this. I still love you. We can start over. Please don't get a divorce." She sobbed, hoping Ryan would change his mind. "I can't live with this betrayal," he said. "You broke my trust. It's over. Nothing can change that, no matter how much you plead." Emily choked up. She hoped he would forgive her and come back to her, but Ryan had made up his mind. He couldn't live with the lie and the pain any longer. After a period of intense debate, the judge reviewed the evidence and heard Ryan's words. He decided to continue the case, even though Emily refused to sign. The judge announced that the divorce was granted, his voice calm but strong. It seemed to put an end to a relationship that had been built for years. Emily burst into tears, but Ryan just stood up and walked out of the courtroom without looking back. His decision was final, and now their lives had officially entered a new chapter, one where Ryan was no longer bound by betrayal.